President, His Excellency retired Brigadier Juno Spadaville, has declared the 9th of December as Census Night, which will kickstart the electronic enumeration for the midterm population and housing census. This is the first digital census to be conducted in the country. Peculiar in this census is that households, villages and towns that were not reached in previous censuses are reached and enumerated this time around. In July 2020, the government announced that a midterm population and housing census will be conducted, and it was later postponed in 2012. Due to COVID-19, international technical experts could not come in, and the shipment of over 20,000 electronic tablets was still stalled. For more on the issue, I have in the studios this afternoon Director of Comms, Stats Sierra Leone, Samuel and Sumana. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You are no stranger indeed to the podium. You've been here before, chatting this same issue. So are you now more than ever prepared to undertake, the census, because you had postponed this, I think, about twice now or so?
Okay, so the president does not proclaim if we are not prepared. All right, and the president is being well informed, and that is as a result of the fact that he's announced a date. And we're now counting down the days to the 10th of December when we will start the enumeration. So lots of things have been done. It's been a very long roller coaster. We started in July 2020 when the president proclaimed a midterm census, and as you mentioned, we couldn't do it because of the impact of COVID. The tablets couldn't come in time, but we've done lots of things over the course of the past 1 year. We've done the locality verification. We've done the cartographic mapping. Cartographic mapping basically is a quick count of the households. That is, it's at that point that you actually develop the maps of the country. All right, we've done that. We've done the pilot census in various times where we tested all of the instruments, we tested the equipment to ensure that everything is working. We did that. As I speak, we are doing the provisioning of the tablets. All right, we've done like 70% of those provisioning. And then we expect to deploy them. Today we've started the training at district level. Every district is having the training ongoing concurrently. All right, so we're doing that, and that will run for the next 10 days. And after that, we'll do deployment of the people in the respective enumeration areas where they have to work, and then we'll start the actual census counting or enumeration, as we call it from the technical perspective. So we are all set, and if you go around the office right now, everybody's buzzing. There's a whole lot of gingering that is happening. Other people are gingering other people up so that they can bring them up to speed, so that everything gets done. Every department, from the technical to the administrative to logistics, everybody to communications, everybody is doing his bit, all shoulders to the wheel to ensure we pull it off.
Cynicists have bitterly criticized the process. Many believe that this is ill-fated. There have been series of discussions around the midterm housing and population census. May I ask you this afternoon, what key reasons are the motivation behind this?
Okay, so I don't even want to mince my words. Let me put it very direct. We are conducting this census. The president mentioned for 3 reasons. Now, chief of those reasons is what I want to dilate on. We had data issues that occurred, errors that occurred in 2015. Now, so let me just even it up and put it into perspective so you understand. We did the census in 2015, Statistics Sierra Leone. All right. Now, during the 2015 census, when we were doing the cartographic mapping, we entered the names of localities as names. All right. When we did the actual enumeration, we entered the names of localities as codes. Now, what does that mean? Wilberforce Village, all right? In the cartography, you enter Wilberforce Village. Then you come to the enumeration, you replace Wilberforce Village with a code, 01, for example, Regent 02, Battles 03, like that. Now, matching the two after the enumeration, it became a problem because you have to match the cartographic data with that of the enumeration data. It became a problem. What that led to was a situation where we cannot disaggregate the population. We cannot break down the population into bits and pieces. All right? That is to say, at locality level, we cannot tell you the population of the localities at that level, at that village level. All right? So, what we can give you as a result of that error that I called was, we can give you the population of the total enumeration areas. Now, an enumeration area is where you have a place or a locality that has between 80 to 120 households. All right, that's an enumeration area. So, for the type 3 localities, the type 3 enumeration area, that is the villages, what happens is, for you to reach that threshold of 80 households, in most instances, you have to conglomerate 10 houses, 2, 3 village, 4 village, 5 village, 6 village, because you go to some villages, it has only 5 houses. You go to some villages, and these are villages that are, there is a whole of distance between them. You move from one village to the next village, maybe 2-3 miles, all right? You go there, you see 2 houses. You go to the other village, you see 5 houses. You go to the other village, you see 10 houses. So what happens is, you have to assemble those villages to get one enumeration area.
And so I told you that for a while. The program you're watching is the podium that is coming to you live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Victor Jones, as usual. The program is going. You're heartily welcome back. This is the podium. It's coming to you live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I still have Samuel Ansumana, Director of Comms, Start Sierra Leone.
All right, okay.
So you were saying.
Yeah, so as I was saying, so at that locality level, you have to bring together several villages to form one enumeration area. The effect of that problem that occurred in 2015 is that, for example, if a village is regent, you want to have the population of regent. 10 chances to 1, we cannot give you the population of regent. What we'll give you instead is the population of regent alongside all the localities that are in that enumeration area that form that 820 households. Now, if you want to do development interventions, you want to plan for your village, we cannot give you. Now, let me backtrack a bit, all right, so people understand the context. Because you've said lots of people have they hold the opinion that the census is this and is that. So let me break it down into perspective. When Professor Osman Sanko took over in January of 2018, all right, he noticed these issues. By the way, and let me make this clear for posterity. Professor Osman Sanko was appointed by the previous government. All right? He took over in January of 2018. When he took over in January of 2018, right away, because he's a scientist, he's a technical person, he noticed these issues. All right? When he noticed the issues, he called the teams that are in charge. All right? Let's come and look at this data. Why is it that all of the time people ask for data? We have letters to the effect. All right? People, partners writing for information that we can give. And you cannot give what you don't have. All right? So, at that stage, Professor Sanko, and that was even before government changed. All right? That was even before the change of government. So, at that stage, he called in UNFPA, and you still had the council that was at the previous council, the board that was basically there, and he spoke to UNFPA. Can we bring the consultant that worked on the 2015 census over? The consultant came. He spent in excess of 2 months with us. At the end of the day, his recommendation was, there's no way in which we can fix this data sitting at the office. You have to go back to the field to correct these anomalies. All right? Now, that is what precipitated the conduct of meter population and housing census. Now, let me also tell you this. Interestingly, unlike other censuses, like for example the decennial censuses, the 10-year censuses, where when it is time, it is the government through the ministry that will tell you to do the census. This time we proposed the conduct
was an
of the
institutional
census.
decision.
Yes, because we needed to actually get these things clear. We couldn't do anything with the data, all right, at that locality level. Okay, so we proposed these had to go through cabinet and then through parliament. It was a rigorous process. We actually found it tough to convince government all right, that this is something which is worth doing. We have to also convince the partners that this is something which is worth doing. At the end of the day, we have the buying of government and the partners, and that is why we are where we are today. All right, with the conduct of the census. So those people that have those views, the sinister views, as you mentioned, and what have you, every census, there's no critical issue in the country that will not attract opposition or critiquing. For us, we see critique as we take it very positive, because it helps us to cross the T's and dot the I's, right? It positions us in a situation where we can be able to look at things from an opposition point of view and see how we can tackle them. Okay. So we are not in any way moved, we are not budging. We're going ahead to do the census. It has been proclaimed. We know there are reasons for that. And we've communicated severally. We'll keep making it known so that people understand why we are conducting the census, all right? Oh. So our plea to the populace of Sierra Leone is, on the 9th of December, be aware of where you will sleep, because that is the reference point. That is to prevent double counting. So where you slept on the 9th, which is the census night, is where you'll be counted. Now, peradventure, Eustace, you moved, let's assume you slept in Freetown on the 9th, and then on the 13th, you moved to somewhere in McKinney, all right? And you were there, and these people come. What would happen if you do not have that reference date is there is a tendency that you could be counted in McKinney, and there is a tendency that when people come to your house where you live in Freetown and where you have slept, you will be also counted there. So the reason why we have the census is to prevent double counting. So if you have slept in Freetown, when they come, they ask, who were the people that slept in this house on this date? Now, because you slept in the house, even in your absence, they would enumerate you, they would account for you, they'll count you as part of the household. When they meet you in McKinney where you are, maybe 2-3 days later, all right, other people go to see you, they will ask, who were the ones that slept in this house on the census night in McKinney where you are? Because you didn't sleep there, they will not enumerate you there. So that's the logic of the census night, to prevent people from being counted double. All right. So that's
lastly, before you go, how will the census unfold? Its latitude and duration.
All right. So we're doing the census from the 10th to the 23rd officially of December. The coverage is the entire country. We're counting everybody that will pass the night within the shores of Sierra Leone on the census night. All right. 9th of December, everybody that would sleep within the shores of Sierra Leone, foreign, local, whatever, is bound to be counted.
All right. Well, I thank you very much indeed, Samuel Ansumana, and he's Director of Statistics, Sierra Leone. Thank you very much indeed for making these here for you, Ansumana. I hope this time around, I and my household will be counted at Pete, Koidu City, Kono.
All right, you know, I have special attachments for Koidu, Kono. That is where we all hail from. Okay. So I can tell you authoritatively that we are reaching every nook and cranny of Sierra Leone that has never been reached before. So for whatever reason, if your place was not reached for the cartography, you will be reached for the census, because we are moving boundaries as in internal boundaries of Sierra Leone. We are cross-cutting boundaries to ensure that we reach every place in Sierra Leone and count. And it is not like before, when people sit in the comfort of their homes and write on the questionnaire. Now we have a digital means by which you have to be 10 meters away from that household that you're going to enumerate for the tablets to open up, for that particular field to open up and you see it. So it's not a matter of a situation where people just say, well, I can just cook figures, I can just enter imaginary figures, all right? So we are very poised. We hope people are also equally very, they're very enthusiastic about this. We're trying to see how we can really, really count people. This is a digital census. Sierra Leone should be proud. It is the first time in Sierra Leone we are having a digital census of this magnitude. You know, it's in fact, Sierra Leone is only the second country in West Africa, and the first in West Africa really, to do a full-blown digital census, because Ghana did a mixture of paper or papi and capi. You know, they did the cartography was paper, and then the enumeration was capi. You know, so we've done a full-blown. We did copy for the...
Thought you had forgotten about this. It seems as if you're still bluffing with it.
Well, it's not bluffing. It's not bluffing. When we celebrated, let me just maybe put this into perspective for you. When recently we celebrated the African Statistics Day, you know, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, is the body that is responsible for statistical offices around Africa. All right. Now, the theme for this year's celebration was modernizing national statistical systems. Part of modernization is to ensure that countries move from paper to copy, because there are lots of errors with paper. The paper can get torn, you cannot have consistency checks. You can give me your date of birth as July 10, 2001, and I enter July 20, 2025. It would work. But with this copy, it has what is called consistency and plausibility checks. All right. Now, what does that mean is, if you tell me your date of birth is on the 25th of July 2026, when we are in 2021, the system picks it up that is not possible. You cannot be born in 2026 when we are in 2021. It's either you are born in 2021 or below. All right. So the system itself is in such a way that it ensures the data is credible. You will not move if you don't get things correct. So let us embrace it as Sierra Leoneans. We'll be at your doors very soon. People will be going to your doors to knock on your doors. Give them an opportunity to count you. Be counted for better planning and for credible data for Sierra Leone.
Well, many thanks to you, Director of Comms, Statistics Sierra Leone. He is Samuel Ansumana.